So first of all, when we think about questions like this, we need to ask ourselves, like, is there a time limit that you are restricted to? If I were to give you a specific date now, a certain amount of time, and you were to say, you're out.
I'm out for that reason.
Too long, then I think you're starting off on the wrong foot. Because building a great physique is going to take as long as it takes. It's going to vary from person to person. That's not necessarily because of genetics or because some people are going to have a better journey than other people. It's because everybody's situation is different. It's going to get in the way. Shit's going to affect your progress. Shit's going to hold you back. Some people are going to fly through it uninterrupted, whereas some people are going to hit stumbling block after stumbling block after stumbling block. And the key to navigating our way through the journey successfully is having a mindset that shit is going to happen, but you are focused on your goals. You're not going to lose sight of what the goal is, because that is where so many people fall off. They have a couple of setbacks, maybe setbacks that are out of their control, beyond their control, but they take it personally and end up giving up on something that at the end of the day only really affects them. Because the thing about this fitness journey is no one else really gives a shit. People will support you, people will pretend they care, sometimes for their own gain. They'll act like they're really interested. At the end of the day, if you wake up tomorrow and you're 50 pounds overweight, and you wake up in a month and you're 50 pounds overweight, it doesn't affect anyone else except you. What's the best way to go about it then? Well, first of all, we need to identify where we are starting from, because where we're starting from is going to dictate the journey that we take to get there. Ultimately, the end goal is going to be the same, right? Whether you're starting 100 pounds overweight or whether you're starting skin and bones, you've never trained before, you find it hard to gain muscle, you find it hard to gain weight, you want to gain a bit of muscle and you want to look good naked. Those two examples I've just given are going to have to take completely different paths to get there. And I think the one thing that people overlook is that there are so many stages to this journey. You can't just say, go in the gym and do this, eat this, until this day, job done. Let's say you are starting off 100 pounds overweight. First thing you're going to need to do is shift some of that weight. I see people in the gym who are severely overweight and they're training as if they're trying to show off some sort of muscle. The thing is, we can only dedicate a certain amount of time each day, each week, each month to this fitness journey, right? People have jobs, people have families, people have responsibilities outside of the gym. So regardless of how dedicated they are to this fitness game, to use that time effectively and wisely. If you're starting off from a position of being quite overweight, I would say work on that first. Don't worry about the muscles just yet. Maybe do some basic body weight exercises just to build a little bit of foundation whilst you are shedding that fat. But primarily your goal right now should be to get rid of that fat. Similarly, if you're just starting out, let's say you've got a naturally skinny frame, that's what I had when I was just starting out, don't gain weight too easily, then in order to gain muscle, you need to be in a calorie surplus. So I would spend however long it takes to build a substantial amount of muscle before you start worrying about getting ripped and shredded. Being ripped and shredded is all well and good, but if you've got no muscle to show off, you're basically just skin and bones. Now, that process that I've just mentioned might take 6 months. Either way, 6 months to shift weight, 6 months to gain a bit of muscle. It might take more than that. Only when you're in a position where you've got that solid foundation in place should you be thinking about cutting back. When you get to that stage, you've got to think realistically about how much you can cut back per day. I would always recommend the slow and steady approach. So if you're looking at a 500 calorie deficit per day, these have suggested that 3,500 calories burned is the equivalent to 1 pound of fat, which is, let's just call it half a kilo for ease sake. Depending on where your goal is, after you've done that initial work, shifted that excess weight, after you've built that foundational muscle, those extra pounds, those extra kilos that you need to cut back, you can calculate it from there. Let's say you think in order to really shred up, you need to lose another 4 kilos. Well, half a kilo per week, that's going to be 8 more weeks of strict dieting. That is when you are going to have all that muscularity that you've been building towards on display. If I make this basket from the 3-point line, you need to like this video and subscribe to the channel. From the UK, by the way, we don't play basketball there. If that was a soccer goal, a football goal, you're gaining at least 100 new subscribers right now, because usually I get about 100 views per video. Yes! Hit that subscribe button right now. If you are literally watching this video right now, let's say you're at point 0. By the time you get to your dream physique, your optimal physique, you're going to be a completely different person. And that sounds very dramatic, but what I mean is you're going to develop as a person, you're going to develop as an athlete, style, your training, they're all going to develop. It's not a linear path, as in there is a door that you need to walk through and you walk down the path and then you get to the door and open the door and walk through. Door often moves around, your goals will change, things will get in the way. And that's completely normal. The pictures that you saw in the thumbnail for this video were taken about 14 years apart. Now I'm natural, I've been training hard, training natural that whole time. I'm not that different in size, but my body composition is completely different in those two pictures. It's through years of experimentation, different styles, different methods, different lifestyles. I've gone through a series of different lifestyles during that period, and they've all brought me to a point where I'm pretty happy with my physique right now. But even now, even as recently as this week, I've started doing a lot more high intensity work simply because I'm getting older and I want to take care of my heart a little bit more. I can train for aesthetics, even lean aesthetics, and still be very unfit, because it's mainly just about building some muscle and then cutting back that fat so you can see that muscle. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are extremely fit just because you are extremely lean. In fact, in many ways, it can be quite the opposite. So if you're watching this video because you've decided to make some changes, then congratulations. Welcome to the club, fitness society, as we call ourselves. You're gonna feel a lot better for it. There's nobody who starts this journey who comes out on the other end feeling worse about themselves. It's only positive feelings. But also be mindful of the fact that you're starting on a long-term project here. So in 6 months, if you're not quite where you need to be, that's cool. It's all part of the process. Keep going. Eventually, you will get to where you want to be. What you might find is that where you think you want to be right now and where you actually end up getting to in the end are two completely different places. My starting goal, I achieved it 10 years ago. Goal right now, I'm nowhere near yet. I look completely different? Not really. I look pretty damn similar. I look fucking similar all the time, but the methods that I'm using, the way I'm going about my training, the way I'm going about my nutrition, it is always changing and always evolving. Be sure to like the video, check out the rest of the channel for more practical information to do with diet, to do with training styles, etc. The information's all on there, so go take a look. Your kindness, give me one more chance at eternity. LeBron James steps up. 100 new subscribers. I don't even know if that's close, to be honest. Here's Michael Jordan. Whatever. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If not, I understand that too. That would have been a cool way to finish. See you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.